Good for you. What's the traffic on that? So I don't have to trust you. Oh, that's good. Same around. Well, no, I still got about the difference, yeah, so, I will go through this for something to be. Super, how are we calling? Okay, so he's not following, but he's getting. Yeah.
How you there? They get you around. It's nice to get to be good.
Should be, you see the sign, it's like, it's like the Google chat of Gmail. It's like not the direct Gmail.
Oh, okay, they just. Got it. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't pop up on my phone or here. Somehow just, yeah.
It's a very tough corner to find, like that's why.
Well, no, I think because I had it open and I didn't have, that is an notification.
Also, I'm not sure. For Canada. Okay. Welcome. We have to spend it. We don't follow.
I never just so tired. That's like-
Yeah. Yeah, what day is it? I'm so busy. Also, most days actually. Is pretty good. It's September 17th. It's a third grade. Yeah. And see how it's going. Tuesdays are okay. Well, I need to put it together. Oh, my God, this. Unfortunately, that's and I. And then I.
Get it fast.
Hopefully sometimes things.
How's it going, guys?
I had a class in this. I think.
And then. Doug Rochelle.
Are you?
Sound
Yeah.
different from my. Oh, maybe from the raffle.
And then.
Like we were a little. You go. We're just on the same. It's so big. Relevant.
Good. Cheers.
Yeah.
The chair.
Oh, I got a 3S.
Senator, don't steal Squishmallow. Yes. Not the coral.
Very sure.
Upstairs. It's going to be good. I'm actually upstairs. People just think that. It's okay. It's been pretty good. It's not on the top of my head.
You're famous.
Alright. You're tired, Maria. Yeah, you are, and really. I don't know, I think we're just so special that. Right. Yeah.
It's like, you know, sports game, it has something on the Bible, like colors.
Oh, right now.
I'm looking for it.
Oh, okay. On trip to Ireland. Right. After class.
Is there any truth? Well, it's fine, it's like that, but. I don't have my data science. What's the, class? Like macroeconomics, I think I can do that.
Yeah, that's smart. I think I might just take business meeting orders. That's.
Full class with selectable topics and economics. Part of it all. I finally like 11 pages, page, like 300 lines. I think like, geez, so let me that. Friend. Now they'll compare your resident. That's. It sounds like a lot. Two larger leagues. Yeah, who knows?
Yes.
So this is spring plus through the fall.
Wait. I can't. Are you guys somebody looking to the fact, like, so said, this is so green.
As far as.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I just. It's not.
Oh. That's cool. You don't want to.
But yeah.
At least I don't know. So you can probably just, you can probably write out.
Yeah, put it forward.
Today.
Oh, no, last.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's early in the semester to like, it's early in the semester to be.
No, it was last
You're
year.
making a.
Not that.
I think it was her.
Yeah.
Wiped off the map.
Wiped off the
Like,
map.
That's messed up.
Why are you, don't start.
And
No, I just found out.
Yeah.
Very short ago.
Yes.
Well, I'm not even, yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll go.
So.
And I was
Until-
buying all of it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, are you asking the same about like?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
much better.
About this?
No, I mean in general, no, I mean like something I think, yesterday I took.
Hey, you got one?
No, every night.
Oh.
I'm like.
No, I
I don't even think we're whole lot.
Another one, but it was good. And I stopped like.
The reason I made a personal name.
Right, okay. Yes, ours, has Holly.
How we doing, everybody today? We're gonna start with the call to order, so. The or, I'm here, that's how it's 8:05. Roll call. Senator Farragallo.
Present.
Senator Centeno.
Present.
Gotcha. Senator Dempsey.
Present.
Senator De Jesus.
Devin.
Senator Howard.
Present.
Senator-elect Otto.
Here.
Am I saying that right?
Yes, here.
Senator-elect Ruan Martinez.
Here.
Am I saying that right?
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure without all you new guys. Senator-elect Akinyemi Loalwe.
Yeah.
Bathroom? Alright, we'll come back to that. Senator Patel.
Present.
Go. Senator Jenkins.
Present.
Senator-elect Stephen.
President, but it's Stefan.
Steph, alright, that's not one up. Senator-elect Shirley.
Present.
Got it right?
Skrelly.
Skrelly?
Yes.
Got it. Senator-elect Guzman. Senator-elect Lozier.
Here.
Senator-elect Hill.
Present.
President Pro Tem Boris Spivak.
Here.
President Wright.
Present.
I am here. Chief of Staff here.
Present.
Attorney General Polanco.
Present.
Chief Communications Officer Outer. Chief Financial Officer Motion.
Here.
And Clerk Rodriguez Zapata. Yeah. All right, we're gonna start off with the executive address. Anyway,
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank Chairwoman Casanova Ghost for her amazing work with the fall 2025 senatorial elections. I would like to welcome our new senators to the student government of the College of Liberal Arts at University. Congratulations on winning your various elections. I cannot wait to work with you all for the remainder of the semester and see what you all achieve collectively and individually as a Senate. After a few resignations, I can now say that the executive cabinet has been fully restored. Kayla Kiernan will now be my chief of staff, so please welcome her and report to her as you did with Chief of Staff John Baptiste. Vice President Moore, I will be meeting with President Lincoln in a few weeks, and once that meeting has happened, we will be following you guys all up on what happened at said meeting. I want to thank all of the committee, senator, and executive cabinet members who tabled during the activities fair. We got 25 students to sign up for either one or more committees and many candidates in declaration forms, as we have a bunch of new senators. Thank you, Chief Communications Officer Wakura, for all of the literature you designed for the activity fairs. Since we all last met, here are some of the many things my administration has been working on. Currently, we are on the hunt for an international, an N2 senator, with the help of the International Center and Election Chairwoman Catherine Bush. President Pro Tem Boris Spivak is prepared to start committee and liaison placements at the end of today's meeting. Vice President Orr is currently working with other members of the school government to better streamline our communication efforts within our body to become more efficient. And I have worked with other clubs and organizations here at University to present the Senate with a more fiscally conservative funding allocation for the city's fair event. Friendly reminder, voting will be a little bit different this semester, as I mentioned 2 weeks ago. Given that Attorney General Blanco is in London for the London semester, she will be joining us virtually. So as you can see on the select nameplates, there, it explains all the different ways that you're able to vote. So we'll be going through the roster and only doing roll call voting for our legislative session 1 in the fall. And we'll be doing secret ballots when we'll talk about more sensitive topics. So yeah, that's how voting will be going on from now until the end of the semester. And as always, if you'd like to schedule a meeting with me to discuss any type of concerns in depth more than after or before meetings, you can click on this link here and fill out the form, and my chief of staff will be in contact with you about when I'm done. Thank you.
All right, I will now be administering, should I clap? I will now be administering the oath of office for our new chief of staff, the president. May Kayla Kiernan please follow the instructions given by the attorney general.
Give me 1 second. Okay. So I state your name,
Kayla Kieran.
swear to uphold and defend.
Huh?
Oh, you have to raise your right hand and repeat after me. My bad, sorry.
Oh, okay, now.
I state your name,
I, Kayla Kieran,
swear to uphold and defend
swear to
uphold
hold
and
and
defend
defend
the Constitution and the bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the student government of Drew University.
of the student government of Drew University.
I promise to carry out the office of
I promise to carry the office of
your position
chief of staff
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please give Attorney General Blanco some grace. It's 1 AM in London right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm speaking really low.
We appreciate you staying up for us. We will now, Attorney General Polanco will now administer the oath of office to the new incoming senators. So may Senator-elect Stephens, Senator-elect Scarelli, Senator-elect Guzman, Senator-elect Lozer, Senator-elect Hill, Senator-elect Otto, Senator-elect Ron Martinez, and Senator-elect Akinyemi Lawale. Please, follow the instructions given by the Attorney General.
All right. So,
Raise your right hand, feel free to stand as it doesn't happen.
I state your name,
I, Rachel Vago,
sort of uphold and defend
swear to uphold and defend
the Constitution and the bylaws
the Constitution and the bylaws
of the student government of Drew University.
of the student government of Drew University.
I promise to carry out the office of
I promise to carry out the office of
your position
freshman attendant
and to represent my constituency
and to represent my constituency
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
And congrats to all of you.
Good job, everybody. We're gonna move on to student concerns and compliments. Senator Dempsey, would you like to start us off?
Sure. So currently, there have been several complaints, as is typical around dining, but specifically with the new dining hours. Students are requesting, earlier opening by 1 hour on the weekdays for the sake of New York semester students and also those that desire to have an early breakfast. And they also request at least earlier opening on weekends because both due to the shortness of the breakfast period, which is literally only 1 hour, and also because 10 PM is past 10 AM is past the time that most people even have breakfast in the first place, especially athletes and all students in general. It just makes breakfast far less accessible and mealtime. It delays the day, you know.
Does anybody have anything they would like to add to that? Or that's that?
To add on to that, for swimming at least, we have days where we'll end at like 8:30 AM on a Saturday. get there around 8:45, 9, and then it's just. Like last Saturday, it was like everyone in a big line to use the teaching kitchen, so maybe it would help to open it an hour earlier.
Sounds absolutely dreadful. Senator Lozier.
I know that previously Gourmet Dining has claimed that not a lot of students come during those earlier hours, those later hours. So I would like to schedule a meeting with them perhaps and just see their data on that and if there are a few students going. But even if there's only 2 students, those 2 students still deserve to eat and they're paying just as much as the rest of us to do so.
Does anybody else have anything to add?
Yes, I do know at the last meeting, there was mentioned that Gourmet Dining had data about how many students are in comments at a time, but we didn't actually get to see any of that, so it would be nice to see what exactly they collected at least last year.
This past weekend, this past Saturday, we had an away game and there were 3 teams there at around 8 a.m. Precisely. It was men's soccer, women's soccer, and then women's volleyball, and no chefs were there. The only directive we were given that was that no chefs were there and that the teaching kitchen was open. And that was just very difficult because we had assigned times, just bus, but the men's soccer was away that day, women's volleyball, we were home. But just because those meal periods are so strict, it would just be nice to have an offer and just to have the teams get ready for the day and their athletic programs.
Senator Otter, did you have your hand up before?
Well, I was just gonna ask, would it be like unreasonable to find a way to coordinate between like dining and athletics?
Not at all.
Try to find days when they need to open early, cause I can understand you wouldn't wanna cook for 2 people, but if you've got 3. So what, is that like 90 kids in the dining hall, like, then maybe there should be food.
That's what we're here for, figure that out, and make sure we can work together to get that done. Other hands, Senator Hill?
I also wanted to say in terms of like closing times, that I feel like if we can at least extend it to 11, that may be more reasonable, because we have some teams that practice up until 10 o'clock. And then I'm also thinking like, as I said, we're here till about 9:30, and if people can't eat beforehand, how are we supposed to eat after in a 30-minute time period? And they're probably already cleaning up by that point.
Senator Lozier?
I would also like, to get the data on their closing times, because they have this thing that they call like a soft close, or late night is their official term. And it sucks, I'm sorry for using unprofessional language, it sucks, last year it started at 10 p.m. And that was okay, because once again, how many people are really going? But right now, I believe I've heard reports from my constituents that it starts around 7 or even 6:30. Which is frankly ridiculous when we have classes that go till 6 p.m. or later.
Exactly, I think transparency, because it's not just the reason and rationale, I wanna see the data explicitly and see if we can't work with that, and see if there's not extending variables that interfere with that data. I know Clerk, Marisa, you had that meeting?
I did, I actually yesterday, and they said that they were willing to extend the time and make a new schedule for weekdays for breakfast and for weekends as well. On weekends, they were talking about maybe pushing it later up until 12. So the time that it starts now, and then they have breakfast up until 12, because those are the times that people are checking in to have breakfast. And then for the weekend, they did talk about how they have the yogurt section open and they have the teaching kitchen.
Did they seem, this is just a quick point of, just a quick question. Did they seem to kind of understand the degree to which these students have this concern?
Yes, John, for that. Well, he said he was willing to, create a new schedule based on the data that they're having this year, because they are going based off of data from last year.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else have anything with that information? Okay, we'll move on to Senator Jenkins.
Yes, how am I received? Good?
You have your point of, your concern or compliment?
Yeah, so, let's see. So my first complaint that was shared not just by myself, but also as a common complaint among students, was that the Drew self-service website for students is still practically unusable in the fact that it keeps throwing up errors every time you want to do anything at all. I have tried implementing various fixes, different computers, doesn't matter. It still shows up with the same issue. And according to a fair number of students, it's kind of been like this for a while, longer than even I have been here. And I'm trying to see if there's anything that we can do to remedy or at least provide a Band-Aid fix to the situation.
Thank you very much. Senator Logan, do you have a comment?
So I work at the University Technology Help Desk, and this is an issue that they're very aware of. It's not something that's an easy fix, just because it is on the server side, so there's nothing that we can physically do at Drew to fix it. And I know they are working on that. It is one of their primary concerns at the moment. They do have a list of get that door. They do have a list of troubleshooting things to do, and I can send that link into the chat if you'd like it.
That'd be awesome. Any information that would inform this discussion would be very much appreciated. Very much. Senator, next.
So this is, I guess, adjacent, but I was trying to demonstrate ladder work to my ESEM students today. And I clicked on the ladder tab for immersive experiences you can look at. And it has and continues to, since last year, send you to a dead link on the Drew website.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which no results found. Little demonstration. And I feel like that's ideal, especially since all of the other ones work, and also don't send you to the Drew page.
That's something we can definitely have conversations about with the people who really talk to the technology department and everybody else. Senator Logan?
I have information on this as well. The Drew University website is the equivalent of a ball of spaghetti thrown at the wall. It is very barely operational as it is. There's not really much that they can do besides rewriting it from the ground up. And at the moment, they just don't have the budget or the time to do that. So unfortunately, it is just something we have to live with.
President Wright's point of information, and I'll come back to it.
Yeah, point of information, when I was a freshman senator, Drew hired a strategic planner. And this guy was some old university president who was just trying to revamp Drew essentially. And he basically said that in terms of the website, Drew was supposed to hire someone that was supposed to revamp all the websites, all the different things, and basically refreshing because of the dead links or programs that do no longer offer still thing on websites. Just basically refresh the whole system that's publicly available on the web. And I wonder if that ever happened. But that was what was presented to us back in late fall of 2023. So it's now fall 2025. So definitely finding out if that ever even happened, or if it did happen, was it done properly, or that person fulfilled the job the way it was supposed to be done, or the way us as students thought it would be done.
I think when we all sign up for classes and we all interact with, whether it be Treehouse or anything else, or Moodle even, we interact with those problems. So that'll be something President Wright and I will talk to Heather Link about. Any more comments or questions from the table? Senator Farragamo?
To bring to that point, is it possible if maybe we can get people to do this as like an immersive experience or as like an internship that can be considered for Action Scholar hours, just so we utilize our science?
The
students?
website?
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, that would be a very bad idea for everyone involved, because the Drew website is a little more complex than what most people work on. And just due to the sensitive information and databases that it would need to access, I really wouldn't personally feel comfortable with the student interacting with that.
Any other points of information here? Senator Hill?
I would also say that I feel like a lot of the information on the Drew website is very outdated, and that could be a problem for prospective students, because imagine, I just looked on like the sociology website, and it's saying that a professor reader who had retired and who hasn't been the department chair for years is still the department chair, and it doesn't reflect that way when you actually go to look at the list of professors. Professor Andrews, who's the current chair, is actually listed as the chair there. So that can be very confusing, and that would mean that students wouldn't know who to contact to like see about those things.
Thank you very much. Any other points? Senator Steph?
This is more of an inquiry. For the website, do you know what happened? Like for the whole like reconfiguration and for it to look how it went.
For what, the True
Like,
website or?
like when everything just like changed, like when we kept getting emails like, oh, the banner's down or whatever, but it didn't look like that like before.
I know that there was a hack mid-August, but I'm not sure what you're specifically talking about. You can just follow me after the meeting and I can try to find the Jira ticket.
The second
And
one.
second, that might be, at least for the departments I work with, when they needed like to update something like at least for the, like informational page of the Visitor website, they were seeing to talk to communications. The communication might also go out for at least updating the contact information.
Thank you very much. We keep moving on here. Senator, sit down.
Good evening, everyone. I have two constituent complaints to talk about today. The first one is also a dining concern. Students are asking once again to bring back an Aramark themed dinner called Sushi Night and Steak Night. These are things that we had with Aramark that Gourmet Dining no longer provides. Constituents have been persistently asking to bring this back. So I would love if, Rodriguez Zapata could meet with them and discuss this and potentially talk about bringing it back.
We actually already discussed the lunches and dinners, and they said that they do it based on calendar events. So, for example, people were asking for the upside down pineapple, flan, and tres leches to come back, and those are things that they're gonna bring back for the Hispanic Heritage Month. So if it fits into the theme, you just say, and then we'll talk to John, and he said he will order the stuff.
So I'm not sure what theme this could fit into.
It could fit into like the Chinese New Year or like anything like that.
Yeah, so is there a channel for me to request this, or am I requesting it through?
You
you
could
right now?
request it through me, but also there's on the napkins, on the back, there's a little QR code and it takes you to a link and it's texting. And if not, apparently, according to them, when I had the meeting with them, they said that there's always one of the staffs or like one of the head leader staff or whatever, that they sit off to the side, like there. And then you could just go up to one of them and request it. John is like the guy that he has like the short hair.
Joe.
Joe.
Yes.
I called him John the entire meeting.
Yeah. Joe is the head of dining services. But I'd really appreciate if you could bring up the sushi night and steak night to him during your next meeting. And the second inquiry I have is a library inquiry. Students are wondering if it can open earlier on Sundays, because at the time it only opens at 2 p.m. The students requesting this are aware that there have been budget cuts with the library. But I think it's reasonable that on the weekends, which are probably the 2 days where students are most available, that they would want some more time to be in the library, possibly at 12 p.m. Yeah, if we could work on that at all, that would be great.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have any other points of information about that? Senator Burgon?
Just a thought to your idea, have we thought about maybe creating like a Google form and like giving it out to students and seeing if like, we could put a time like of when they want something in dining, so that way they have the ability to request it, but also be able to, enjoy other things as well. I mean, if people see enough, if people are interested enough, they'll be happy to like bring it up, just so like the chefs, it doesn't give the chefs a hard time, they could always access that form and see what's, needed for that particular week based on the.
So I do know that they do have their request form, like as clerk said on the napkins. I'm sure that Gourmet Dining is the only person who has access to what students submit to that form. So I'm not sure if you're requesting to possibly make another one for our own data.
I was just gonna say like bringing more awareness to like them knowing, like, cause like if it's on a napkin, like it might not be as visible or as common, but.
During the meeting, we did talk about doing more media and advertisement on the dining concerns, and not dining concerns, on the dining page. And then they said that they would make things more known, and they were gonna do like a day in the life of like a vegetarian student here, and then they would like make a student walk around and get meals or whatever, just so that people know what the things they need or the things that they could utilize, and like how to go about eating in the ways that they need to eat, without feeling like there's no options.
Yeah, and maybe you can bring to them as well, maybe because they do have a website now, maybe that could be like a newsletter feature. So that way, they'll always be reminded that that's available to them.
We're gonna go to Senator Patel on Zoom and then we'll go back to the team.
I was thinking instead of like having Google Forms or another form, well, when the student body doesn't really fill it out, like in prior years, the student body hasn't really been what do you call it, responsive to forms. I was thinking if the marketing team for Gourmet could do like a poll story on their Instagram to like, it's the same idea and everything, just put it on the Instagram, maybe more people will look at the Instagram. Like I know I tend to definitely look more at the Instagram than reply to like Google Forms and things like that.
Senator Hill?
Okay, so mine is about, I guess, the sushi and like steak night. My thing with that is because we have the Taco Tuesday and the Wing Wednesday, that it starts to bring the issue of the fact that we have repetitive food in Commons. And some people solely rely on Commons, and EC is not open during the weekends, and the quality of food goes down terribly on the weekends. And like, I just don't think that's fair, because some people genuinely just can't leave, because like that brings, like, we have international students here, or like people who live out of state that don't have a car here.
Senator Scott?
And one agreement to, at least for the Wing Wednesday, could they have also options of boneless wings? Cause it's always just bone in and it gets to a point.
Agreed. Yeah, we'll definitely, continue getting, discussion of the dining. They say anything about the way that they're gonna take the.
Well, we're gonna be meeting every Friday, so like Joe, Michelle, and then they have another person, she's like a liaison kind of, and we're gonna be meeting every Friday, and I do have the dining concerns meeting on Thursday, so I'll bring the fresh concerns to them on Fridays, and then the next Wednesday that we have the meeting, then I'll get back to you guys. So I'm taking notes.
That sounds like a great infrastructure to make sure that new complaints that come in with new problems that we see and everything else just gets translated and there's transparency and communication. Thank you for that. Senator Hill?
I would also say that this might be a separate issue, but I would say that the students have been asking for takeout boxes, and I feel like it's more convenient. Because I go into the city for the UN, they're not open when I get there, and nobody wants to keep eating like sandwiches every time you go into the city. So I feel like if we had the option, that would also help Commons, because people will be more likely to go in and grab food, because some people like EC because it's grab and go style. Not everybody has time to stop in, and it'll also help fix the issue with them not wanting to stay open later. People can just grab the food and have it already.
Thank you very much. I do very much like that idea. Senator Lozier?
This is a question for Clerk Rodriguez Sabata. Are those meetings open? Like, can I go to your?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
You could come to the ones in the EC, but you could also come to the ones that we have on Fridays.
okay, thank you.
We have them in the Commons.
We're gonna go, Baptiste, and then we're gonna go next.
I had two, statements for both the senators and those complaints. For the first one, for the library, I think the Sundays issue was less of a budget cuts thing, but data as well of who exactly is in the library on those weekends. And also, who was willing to work those hours, which I feel like the library has had more staff, so like there might be availability on those weekend days and hours. And also like if people are actually coming to the library at those times, they'll be more inclined to like maybe wanna open earlier. But then also it is a Sunday, so like other people have like religious practices that they might not be able to come at 12 because they're still in like church or mass or something. So I think that's a conversation with the library. They're very like open to talk about all of those things. And then in terms of dining and like posting things on social media for students to know, I'm not sure how ethical and honest they are with those responses, because a lot of students have requested those things like sushi and steak since they've changed roles from MR, and I have not seen it like happen. So I would suggest maybe student government taking over that suggestion box type thing, and then we share that data with them so that we know the students are asking for it, and then they can ethically respond to the students' needs, rather than us voting on a poll and they say we asked for it, but no one asked for hot Cheetos mac and cheese.
Thank you very much. Senator Dempsey?
I have two things, but I forgot the second one. The one thing is just, you can, instead of doing a form, you can also just text them the number. I did it recently to, request Russ's friends. It's all Russ's friends. And then it allegedly, according to, I guess it would be Jill, that it goes to all of the, higher education corporate, essentially. I don't know how well it's received, but.
Thank you very much. Point of information, President Wright?
Yeah, point of information, in terms of like how dining does their ordering system. They always say, oh, if you wanna add something like to the menu or get something in the C-store that isn't there. They order on a periodic basis, so it's also a slow change type of thing. So if you want a new menu item that's never been served in the Commons before, they're not gonna order it right then and there. They're gonna wait for their next shipment to come to then place that order, and then they'll do a trial phase and see if the students are eating that particular thing, and then that's when it gets put into the normal rotation type of thing. So it's just like a touch and go basis of how they run things, but even with like the C-store, you can't expect drastic change, like within, right after our meeting on Friday. Clerk Rodriguez Zapata is gonna go and have this meeting, and then boom, on Monday, you're gonna see these changes. It's gonna be slowly integrated over time. So definitely agree with you on that these things need to happen, but also be cognizant that it's not gonna happen like that.
Senator Dempsey, and then Senator Sinata.
Sorry, the second thing was, I was on the note of the to-go boxes. So I'm going to probably establish that it will be a hard no along that front, unfortunately, but, however, when I did the UN semester, they did allow for takeout boxes exclusively under the circumstances of the, UN semester, and then they kind of watched you the entire time we did it. So it is something that can be worked out. However, given that the late opening times, it's not really viable at the moment, but if things work out, then there could be a takeout box thing that would deal for New York students.
Thank you.
I just have a point of inquiry for constituent Anaya. For the record, do you know if who could be our point of contact for the library?
So there's either Emily Lajeunesse or T. Last name. I can get you the last name, but Emily Lajeunesse or Elizabeth Leonard, I think she's the director of the library, right, Mary? Yeah, sorry, CCO.
Point of information from President Wright?
Yeah, also to add on the library and, once President Pro Tem Vivek does his, community liaison placements and all the senators fill out the form, one of you will end up being the direct student government liaison to the library, London Library, and the food pantry, so. Yeah, there's somebody to do something for everything, it's just slow progress, we'll get there by the end of the year, yeah.
I also want to say that it's available for all of us here in this room for student government and for committee members. I'm pretty sure that you will be in the contact sheet, so people who are affiliated with the library and the dining, you can email them directly and you'll know what position they're in. Senator Stefan?
Two things. For what you just said, is, the library and the food pantry like one together or the two separate,
There are about, I believe, 19 different liaison positions, and some of them have multiple departments tied into one liaison position. Some just have one, it just really depends on what past administrations thought made sense to go together and whatnot, but things can be switched around.
I'm gonna know I did serve in that position, so it's not that they operate with each other, but you are the liaison for both of those two things at the same time. You have a second?
yeah, second thing, for you to go back to that and third, I feel like this one is a very, it's a easier solution, because they have cinnamon out for breakfast, like next to the oatmeal, but then it's gone. So if they can just like stay out.
You want cinnamon music?
Yes.
Okay, so for those things like that, so the way that they see it is like that. If the problem is immediate right there, it's more efficient if you just look at a worker and say, excuse me, can we please get some more cinnamon? Because there could be cinnamon right now. So it's like, I go up to them and I'm like, hey, look, there's no cinnamon. And right now there's cinnamon because they already got to it. Does that make sense? Because we did talk about things like the soda machine and things like that. Those are concerns that they said that they were gonna check the machine, and it's like linked to downstairs, and there's a bags of syrup that link to the machine. And that's why sometimes when you go like that, there's like clear water coming out of the Pepsi or like the Coca-Cola, whatever. So they said that instead of every hour, they're gonna check it every 30 minutes. But with things like items that need to be replaced, like the syrup, it's easier, or the ketchup, it's easier to just look at a staff and be like, excuse me, I'm sorry, can we please get some more of da 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 da? Or the person that stands right there, they also could get it for you.
I have a quick question just off of that, because last semester, I mean, I've worked in fast food restaurants and everything else, so familiar with the system. You got hook up the bag of syrup to the thing, and then it goes through, and you can hear the clicking when the thing is out, when you walk downstairs, that you know the machine's out. That if they were scheduling over an hour to check it frequently, do we know that they have a system where they make sure that that gets done? Because even if they say that they're gonna check half an hour instead of an hour, do we know that that's happening?
Well, we talked about this yesterday, and thus far, when I've been in the comments, there's soda, so I'm hoping they're implementing it.
It's certainly been less of an issue than in semesters past, where I've been out of lemonade for like a week. Senator Scott.
I do feel what you're saying, like, about like replacing it, but it's not that it's like, it needs to be replaced, the fact that they take it out, like completely, like it's just not there anymore. But then also like a side question, like, about, like there being soda now, are they aware that it's always like warm? Like anytime it comes out, like just, if you get just like the drink itself, it's like usually warm, unless it's water, but for the rest of that, like most of the sodas are just warm.
I can't see the nameplate, I'm sorry. Senator Akinyemi Lawale.
Yeah, my question is concerning food availability during the summer, because I stayed over the summer 4 days side along with some other international students. And I noticed that there weren't a lot of food options on display. The entire middle section was closed off. And there was no waffles, so breakfast options were little to none. And it was the same grill, like burgers, pizza, maybe hot dogs every single day. So I was wondering if maybe on your next meeting, you could bring that up to them. Thank you.
Yes, I actually was also here during the summer, and there was food at a certain time, so it's like, food was, like, if it was breakfast, there was a certain time where they would just remove it. So those things were always there, but there was actual hot food, it just closed for a certain period.
Senator Hill.
So this also goes into the winter. So I was here this winter because I'm an athlete. The problem with the food, like the quality was bad, but I'm like, that's not even the biggest thing. There's not enough nutrition. You have athletes who need to have proper fuel to like function and do what they need to do. There was one time that they said Commons was gonna be open for breakfast. I went there, nothing. There was no muffins, there was nothing, and we had practice in the morning. And the hours are so short that it's like, okay, I'm eating, I'm going to practice, I have to eat again. 2 hour gap, I have to eat or I have no dinner. And it's very problematic for the fact that this can lead to injuries, it can lead to health issues, and we also have people with severe allergies. And they don't have anything allergy related during the winter either.
There's Erica, she's supposed to be like the nutritionist, and you can contact her, she's usually here Tuesday through Fridays. We also did talk about this during the meeting, because the allergen section it's like the True Life, or like the life section. It's not just for people that have allergies, it's also for everybody else. So there's a lot of people in the last concert meeting that was going to be guilty going there and getting their protein from there, but you're supposed to go there and get whatever it is that you need. Like, don't let anybody make you feel bad for needing something that's in the allergen section. Like, if you need it, you need it, you got it. But you could also contact her and she can make you like a meal plan or whatever, and then you can have things from the common.
It's more or less because like during the winter, there's very limited options. And then it's like they have grill like only during lunch, so they don't even have it during like breakfast or dinner. And then it's just like the food options are just terrible. So it's kind of like all you have is just rice and like maybe chicken, and that's all you're eating every single day from January 2nd until school opens back up. It's pretty bad.
Point of information, President Wright.
Yeah, I can also attest to this, as I used to be an athlete graduate, and I've been here over the summer on multiple occasions, whether that be for meetings, etc. There's very minimal stations open when school isn't typically in session. So I did mention the life section, but when we were all just here for orientation, it was not open up until the night of the 24th. So it's just like, yes, these things do exist, but they don't start until the actual academic calendar starts per se. We had someone that's on the orientation committee who is celiac and literally had to spend money on food the whole entire week because they couldn't eat daily pockets. So it's just like, when it's a minority of students not being able to access things, they don't take it as a big deal because the majority is still being able to be taken care of. So it's also just looking at it like that. Yes, the numbers are small, but we're all paying either the same amount in the meal plan or even more, because there are certain variations within the meal plan. So you can be a student with the highest value meal plan and not be eating because they're not seeing you as the majority of the campus. So it's just taking those things into consideration. Yes, there's cost for everything. Yes, money is always involved, but it's also like these are people's lives and these are the students' lives.
Oh, also, another thing, in the last meeting, someone talked about someone having a roommate that has celiac and she was felt uncomfortable eating anywhere else besides halal. Halal is actually not the ideal place because they do fry things like fries that they add in their fry bowls into the same oil that they use for other things. So it's not necessarily safe for people with celiac to be using that as their go-to for the hummus bowl, but they can go to the life section comments.
Thank you for letting me know that was my friend. We'll let her know she needs poison.
Alright, we'll be moving on to action items, President Pro Tem Boris Didek, or do you have a point?
I had like one last concern, it's really quick, still no rice in the feed option for Halal Shack, that was from last meeting, so. That's literally it. We get alright, sponsored by Executive Cabinet, co-sponsored by Student Engagement, Ranger Programming Board, Gourmet Dining, Drew Applicant Students Association. Whereas the student government of the College of Liberal Arts of Drew University desires to fund bigger and more engaging events for the student body. Whereas on Thursday, September 25th, 4 to 8 p.m., we will host the States Fair. Whereas the States Fair is an event with foods from states across the country, coordination with Gourmet Dining for dinner at the various stations, games and activities to give off that state fair aesthetic. Whereas we will host this event and financially contribute, and our co-collaborators will also follow these standards. Be it resolved that the CLA student government shall allocate $1,000, $500 from Senate's budget and $500 from Executive Cabinet's budget to be the host of States Fair at Drew University the 25th day of September of the year 2025. Providing students with another unforgettable experience and enhancing campus life, the potential new Drew tradition.
Yes. Okay. Does anybody have any comments or concerns?
I cannot access the itemized list, the new one.
We're fixing that problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Senator Steph.
You know where the our budget is, like,
Yeah, so, we're gonna refer to CFO, Wojcik.
One more time, and your question.
What's the state of our budget and where should we find it?
We have it on, we should have it at the top of the page, I can recopy it.
Get everybody refreshed, you should be able to access.
And with regards to the budget, it's unfortunate, but new senators weren't here last meeting, and that was, we always go over it the first meeting of the semester. But, we did cut this specific bill down in, expenditure because we were able to get the Center for Student Engagement to contribute a decent amount of money. So that cut into our cost. We previously voted this bill down because, it cost a significant amount of our budget. And, we were able to amend that problem. So, that's just me speaking in favor. Does anybody else have any comments or concerns?
If this was passed, it would be $1750 left in Senate budget and cabinet budget for the semester.
Senator Steph, you good? Alright, we'll move straight into voting if nobody else has anything. Did I see your hand?
I was gonna motion to vote.
Alright, there we go. Motion to vote by roll call vote. Do we have a second? Second. Alright, we're gonna go right down the line. Senator Patel,
Nay.
Senator Jenkins,
Yay.
Senator Otto. And then just to clarify, anybody can abstain, so abstention is an option. Would you like to abstain? It didn't seem
I
to-
will abstain.
Alright, okay. Senator, I can't see the plaque too well, is that Juan Martinez? Alright, Juan Martinez,
Yeah.
Senator Lozer,
Same.
Senator Shkreli,
Yeah.
Senator Good. Senator Stefan,
Yeah.
Senator Akinyemi Lawale,
Yeah.
Senator Hill,
Yeah.
Senator Farragut,
Stay.
Senator Dempsey, abstain. Senator Centeno, Senator Howard,
Yeah.
Senator De Jesus, yeah. President Pro Tem Horstman, do you vote?
No, yeah.
Yeah, like, here we go. So,
It's all good.
we're good?
Everything's, yeah.
Alright, I believe, with that, the bill passes.
Wait, we got a double check. H Blanco, is that? Are we good?
Yes,
That's a pass?
it's a pass.
Here we go. Senator Lozer and Senator Farragut, you have a resolution you guys would like to introduce?
Yeah, this is mostly mine. Hello, so I'm still referring to myself as the senator-elect in this, just because that's when I wrote it. I plan to facilitate deeper transparency between the student body and with the staff training, especially at the EC. Because a lot of my constituents have come up when they weren't even my constituents and I was not elected in, saying that their drink was made wrong, it was made with milk and they're lactose intolerant, or just allergic to milk deeply. They're getting the wrong items, they're getting the wrong caffeine content, which is extremely important for people with heart issues. And I would like to make a report based off of the data of the dining company and publish this to my constituents so that they can read this and see, oh, these are how the people are trained. This is why everything sucks all the time. And hopefully we can make it better after that.
Wonderful. Do we have, the only thing that I'm messing around with in my head is that I'm not sure if the gourmet dining or the people in charge of EC have provisions that prevent certain degrees of transparency. Did they discuss anything with you like that at all?
No.
Okay.
But we do have a meeting this Friday at 10:30. Wanna come?
I have
It's at the common.
So I do have class.
We can always meet beforehand and arrange to make sure that.
Yeah, I can meet with you
beforehand. So, alright, so we'll move right into a roll call vote. My computer is getting very low on battery, so I'm gonna try and make everything hurry up, but if not, I'm just gonna go to my phone. Senator Patel,
Abstain.
Senator Jenkins,
Abstain.
Senator Otto,
Same.
Senator Gloria Martinez. Senator Lewis,
Yeah.
Senator Shkreli,
Abstain.
Senator Good.
Yeah.
Senator Steph,
Abstain.
Senator Akinyemi Lawale,
Yeah.
Senator Hill,
Abstain.
Senator Farragut,
Yay.
Senator Dempsey. Yay. Senator Centeno,
Abstain.
Senator Howard,
Yay.
Senator De Jesus.
Yay.
Sadly, the bill does not pass, but I'm sure we will be able to translate a lot of those concerns and a lot of that sentiment into that meeting on Friday. Alright, confirmation of Senator Centeno to serve as chair of the Social Responsibility Committee. So this is something we will have to ask her a couple of questions, make sure that she is fit to serve as the chair, and then we'll motion to vote to confirm. Does anybody have anything they would like to ask her in reference to her role as the Social Responsibility Commissioner? Senator Steph?
And this is really like, what is the social responsibility?
I'm so glad that you asked. So the Social Responsibility Committee is kind of in charge of making sure that Drew finances are being spent in a way that is ethically and morally in line with the student population. Yeah, and we just want to encourage transparency with Drew spending.
Senator Farragut.
What people would we collaborate with on this? Would it be more like student engagement or the registrar office? Like what offices are associated and what are their purpose for the institution?
So for SRC, we have a lot of our, like agenda already complete. We would like to meet with Frank Works. And we also would like to meet with the fund to see if they can do research on, how economic success goes under following BDS guidelines. But other than those two people, along with President Zaire, we don't really have other departments that we would like to collaborate with.
So in terms of transparency, does that mean like the board or do you mean like everyone like at your, like how do you plan on being transparent?
So, we have had several meetings with President Link, over the past year. So this has kind of been an ongoing project where SRC has been really pushing for complete transparency. And it's about where we invest our endowment, which is like the money that Drew has in their back pockets, like a savings fund. And what they do is they have somebody who is an investor and invest that money in different types of stocks. So we're looking right now to get transparency on what stocks they're invested to, if they're invested in any like weapons manufacturing and other things like that. Did that answer your question? I'm sorry. Thank you.
Senator Stefan.
Jack had his hand before I did. Jack had his hand before I did.
Oh, so nice. I'm the CFO of the job.
Thank you.
Constituent, I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
First name or last name?
It doesn't matter.
No, I know. I just not.
Yeah.
What are some of like your like, I guess qualifications or something that you're proud of that will make you, yeah, that makes the role a fit for you, if that makes sense.
Sure, yeah. So I worked very closely with Social Responsibility Committee over the past year, and I was kind of, the previous president, Amina. She was kind of like my mentor in many different capacities. So over the past year, she's kind of been teaching me and training me to take over a position in this club and as well as in SJP. But I work in a number of different clubs here on campus and a lot of administrative roles. I work for Res Life, so I have a lot of connections inside of Drew, and I just am friendly with a lot of staff here. So I feel like that puts me in a good position to be a resource for everyone.
Senator Stefan, you still good? Okay. Christopher Spivak, did you have anything to add? No, you're good. All right. We will now move to vote by roll call vote. So with to confirm, Senator Patel?
Yay.
Oh, sorry, we need a motion to vote by roll call vote. So does anybody want a motion?
Motion to vote by roll call vote.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Senator Patel,
Yay.
Senator Jenkins,
Yay.
Senator Otto,
Yay.
Senator Bruno Martinez,
Yeah.
Senator Lozer,
Yay.
Senator Scarelli,
Yay.
Senator Guzman,
Yay.
Senator Stefan,
Yay.
Senator Akinyemi Lawale,
Yay.
Senator Hill,
Yay.
Senator Farragut,
Yay.
Senator Dempsey, Senator Sindel,
Yay.
Senator Howard,
Yay.
Senator De Jesus.
Yeah.
Go, it's unanimous.
Point of inquiry, should people who are nominated for these petitions be voting in the vote?
know about the bylaw.
Attorney General.
This is, we got two more.
Yeah. I appreciate that presentation, I'm wondering for. So
Could
what
you
is
repeat that question?
We're very sorry.
Should the senator who is up for this committee position be included in the vote count for whether they're confirmed for that position?
That's a good question. Give me 1 second. It doesn't say anything about them opting out to vote, so I think they're within their right to vote. They just have 2 chairs. They're in 2 positions when they sit down.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Senator Patel.
Never mind.
Does anybody else have any other things before we move on to Senator Howard's confirmation? All right, so, now Senator Howard will like to become the chair of the Sustainability Committee, so feel free to ask away with any concerns or questions you have for him. Senator Fergal?
When would they meet? Like, what was like your proposed schedule, like for meeting, and what are your objectives?
Alright, so from my understanding, I am fairly new to student government, this is my third meeting. And looking at the committee sign up, I'm the only person signed up for the sustainability committee right now. So just for me personally, the way my schedule works, I was looking at Fridays, but a big goal for me is kind of getting this committee up and running, so I'm trying to get more people involved, and obviously I can't base this schedule just around what works for me until I get more people involved with said committee. So I don't really have a solid plan for that yet, just because I don't have a committee to put together yet if I am selected this.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Senator Steph?
Are you doing this committee, like I know you just mentioned that, that you're the only one that signed up. Are you doing it because no one else wants to, or because like you have like a real plan for what the sustainability committee represents?
Yeah, sustainability is something that's really important to me. I was a volunteer trail steward in high school. I did my Eagle Scout project for the local land trust in my town. So the environment and sustainability are like causes that are important to me. I am an environmental science major, so this is an issue I care about, and I figured this committee looks like it's kind of getting left in the dirt right now, so somebody ought to pick it up and kind of get on track. I really want to see what information there is from the previous committee. I don't know where I could get that, but I'm just kind of trying to get this up and running and get more information so we can start making more of an impact on the university.
We're gonna go Senator Stefan, then Otto, then.
I think Aria was the past chair, and before that was Cameron, so you can also ask them.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
I'm just curious, like, what your sort of goal is, like, with the committee and like what your focuses might be if you kind of were able to pick.
Alright, yeah, so, like I said, I kind of want to just make sure that this gets established, and then with that, I want to see. What kind of information, like this committee did have previously, so that would include some work with, the dining committee, just kind of seeing what kind of waste we're putting out from comments and how we're managing that, and then also. Like a big issue for me is if you walk around campus, there's a lot of trash everywhere, so I feel like, the sustainability committee would be a good, group to kind of put some efforts forward and to make the campus look a little nicer, maybe through some volunteer-led cleanup parties over the weekend, or some tools like that.
Senator Hill, then we'll go Senator Fergal.
Okay, so one of our questions is, I know that you're talking about like getting it off the ground. What are some things that you like wanna implement outside of, I guess, things that you've already said?
Yeah, so those are the big things. And then I just wanna kind of see what information and data the university has collected, that we could use to kind of spearhead what direction the sustainability committee should be going for with issues. Like if Commons is already, I remember last year, there were people measuring food waste at the end of some of the dining days in the spring semester, and so if there's a lot of data there, and it looks like food waste isn't really a big issue in Commons, I don't think that's something that would be worth putting effort towards looking at more with the committee. But just my understanding is no one's doing this. There doesn't seem to be much data that I could have found, so I just kind of want to solidify and make sure that when it is time for another person to chair this committee, if I'm appointed, they have a clear set of things to pick up and carry on with.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to ask or add? Oh, Senator Patel, my apologies.
I was the former, what do you call it, co-chair of sustainability committee. So if you have any questions, just feel free to email me. And I think I have a folder for sustainability committee that Cameron shared with me. I'll forward that to you later.
All right, thank you. I really appreciate that, because I was looking through the administration Google folder and there just wasn't anything in the sustainability committee, so I'd really appreciate it if I do get nominated for this position and elected, that we could exchange that information.
Senator Santel.
Yeah, quick question. I was wondering, are you going to be trying to implement sustainability measures in the clubs we oversee? Or are you gonna try to do your own initiatives? Or both?
I do think that working with the clubs on campus is an important thing, especially since we do work with a lot of groups and determine their budget. I think that we should strive to be as sustainable as possible on this campus. But also I still have some ideas of my own that I think would be good to implement, so a combination of.
Anybody else anything to add? Would anybody like the motion to proceed to vote? Sit down. We have a second?
As I
Alright, Senator Patel,
Yay.
Senator Jenkins,
Yay.
Senator Otto,
Yay.
Senator Gloria Martinez,
Yeah.
Senator Lozay,
Yay.
Senator Scarelli.
Yeah.
Senator Bridgman.
Yeah.
Senator Stephen.
Yeah.
Senator Akinyemi Lawale.
Yeah.
Senator Hill.
Yeah.
Senator Farragala.
Yay.
Senator Dempsey. Senator Santana.
Yay.
Senator Howard.
Abstain.
Senator De Jesus.
Yeah.
There we go. Congratulations. With that, I think my computer's died, so it's time to go on with my phone. Yeah. You had it loaded up beforehand though, so we're good. See, I gotta scroll down. Alright, confirmation of Senator Dempsey to serve as acting chair of accessibility and student health. So, same procedure, and he has questions to ask as to why he should be confirmed, and then we'll move into the voting procedure. Senator Stephen.
What makes you feel prepared for this position?
Oh, well, I was on the health accessibility, last semester. Been on full time.
What else happened?
So let's see, I think one major thing we dealt with was that there was the elevator was broken in one of the buildings, but there was one of the contractors who had an accessibility, like a mobility issue, and literally could not get to his job, due to that broken elevator, so we're working with the school in order to actually facilitate that happening.
I wanted to ask, I guess, like, how do you plan on, I guess, promoting like health within the Drew community? Especially because I know that, like, since we're a pretty small campus, illness can spread like wildfire. How do you, like, I guess, plan on trying to, for people to help prevent that, or to advocate for people to, I guess, care a little bit more about their health? Because we're college students, so there are times when we can't sleep or can't eat properly, and that could, like, negatively impact our health.
I guess the ideal thing to do would be to work with both the health center and also, like we're talking about, like meal times and with gourmet dining and all that in order to ensure that, the proper nutrients guidelines and also like, rep the counseling center more, all of that sort of thing, the general things that we have, but also aren't discussed enough and should be emphasized.
Anybody else have any questions or concern? And with that, we'll move straight into the voting procedure, if you want to push it up. Sorry, Senator Patel.
I have one last question. What are your ideas to improve the committee?
Improve what? Sorry? Me.
Improve the committee.
Well, I believe that we should just increase awareness of our existence, which I feel like goes for much of student government in general. I feel like people know little about student government in the first place, and even less about the committees, and especially since that's the best place to go to a lot of the time. There are people working actively towards a specific end, trying to have dining concern. It's best to go, instead of to, like me, it'd be best to go to the dining committee, making a whole report on it. So in the same way, I think it would be best to advertise the existence in order to get more membership and those that have general concern. Because when it comes to accessibility, I don't have many active ideas at the current moment because I don't look around to see issues. I don't deal with it directly. But in this case, if there's more outreach, you're gonna be like, hey, I can't reach the places I'm trying to do, or there's issues with that. That's what.
Senator Hill, then Senator Stephanie, Senator Stroud.
Also, in terms of accessibility, how does your household handle, like, when people are like on crutches or something like that? Cause while the campus is small, if you're like on crutches or a 5-minute walk is now maybe like 15. Or like, how does that even affect the people who have to go to the city and now they're like on crutches and have to walk?
So yeah, ideally we work with the school as much as possible because the school likes to be ADA compliant, even though it legally does not have to be, but it does like to be. And everything like, they like to, the school generally likes its students and wants them to stay here, even though it doesn't seem that way a lot of the time. And then, so things like that where it's like, I'm having trouble getting to classes, they can I believe you can set up with like public safety, things like that, to get you a golf cart if necessary, but I'm also going out of liquor, I gotta actually work with people, I gotta actually do my job more, but.
We have.
Senator Sessions?
Since you, serving as acting chair, how do you feel the transition, into the person when they return from abroad, will be like the transferring over?
I mean, fairly simple, I've worked with him before, also the president, like the chair and co-chair have both left, so they'll both be back, so I feel like it'll actually snap back into the exact place it was before.
Senator Scarrett?
If there was a issue regarding accessibility, whether it was like for events or is anything at campus, like dining hall, like maybe in like residence house, like who would they contact immediately, or who would they say? And like what platforms are there to like help them and help them out if an issue does arise?
So that is, I should make so that, well, they can email me, well, ideally they will be able to. Yeah, but, I should actually set up a, or like Instagram, something of that sort, do general outreach, put QR codes up. Yeah.
This is more of an inquiry, for that, wouldn't it be like their first initial contact, the Office of Accessibility Resources, like, where it would be student government?
Sure, yes.
I would believe that student government is part of student government's responsibility and it's responsibility of the committee to coordinate with them to make sure that they have accessibility to that resource and know that they're there, and then student government hearing those concerns from the individual if they cannot provide them. Point of
Okay, so
information
I
for-
was just wondering if there was anything in place for students, I guess, that like get sick on the weekends because the health service is closed during the weekends. So some people, like I said before, don't have access to cars or transportations to get to urgent care, hospital, anything like that, and ambulances are costly, so how, I guess, can you implement something or work with the services to ensure that some students have time over the weekend to at least have some sort of health service provided?
See, I think that's something that would just need to be done, that's like a hypothetical, that's just an active concern, I forgot they close on weekends apparently. That is public, yeah, that's actually just, all right, we have item number one, honestly, that's. Issue.
Information for President Wright?
To all the people in the Senate and all the new members, Attorney General Blanco and President Foxy Borsovec are working together to basically show you guys the ropes. So a lot of you are asking a lot of questions in terms of, oh, well, who would you contact for this, and that? If you click on this document, the student government workflow has everything you pretty much would need to know about who to contact for what in student government. This shows everybody who's currently in student government and whatnot, all the senators, things of that nature, very detailed, you come here. It has all the students that are not student government members who are currently serving in these committees. And then it also shows who's all the chairs for those committees and what faculty or staff you contact in relation to those committees. So you all have access to this document. It's pretty much fully updated for the most point, but it's also in terms of, if you see all the students here in blue, those may be a little faulty, depending on who's graduated. But the committees haven't really gotten full throttle yet because there's no senators assigned to them yet. We're in the process. So by the time October hits, everything should be in full swing. Yeah.
Where is that again?
It's a link on the agenda. That's not.
Very common.
Does anybody else have any questions or concerns that they would like to ask Senator Dempsey? All right, would anybody like a motion for a vote?
I must vote.
Second. All right, President Forte works today.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't ask you a couple times before. Senator Patel,
Yay.
Senator Jenkins,
Yay.
Senator Otto,
Yay.
Senator Gordon Martinez,
Yeah.
Senator Lozier,
Yay.
Senator Scarrelli,
Yay.
Senator Guzman, Senator Stephen,
Yay.
Senator Akanyemi Lawada,
Yay.
Senator Hill,
Yeah.
Senator Farragamo,
Yay.
Senator Dempsey, abstained. Senator Centeno,
Yay.
Senator Howard,
Yes.
Senator Davis.
Yeah.
There you go. Alright, now moving on to Senator Committee updates. So Clerk and Chairwoman Rodriguez Zapata, you'd like to provide your dining concerns, dining committee concerns updates?
So the concerns that were talked about and were offered solutions to were vegan and vegetarian options for there to be more. They said that they have tofu in the salad bar, and then that there is an allergen section. There's always pasta, and then the eggs there are not real eggs, so they're vegan eggs. And then just like the non-allergic people have like omelets, you guys could ask for scrambled eggs from them all the time. And then for the life section, again, everybody can eat from the life section, so don't feel guilty going to the life section because you don't have an allergy. We pitched the idea of them hiring more students at Commons because they seem to be understaffed, and they said that they actually have 7 students working there currently. And that supposedly they're not understaffed, allegedly. That there's no whole milk. They said that there is whole milk in the Coldwell as of right now. They added it to the little long containers that they have there. For the breakfast schedule not being ideal for weekends and weekdays for students that work and or play sports. They said that they're working on a new schedule, specifically for breakfast because not everyone is happy with the schedule. But meanwhile, there is yogurt, bagels, waffles, and the self-serve area, those are always open. And then with the theme food, they also did say that those go with calendar events, like not just the true calendar, but like actual celebrations that are going on. So they try to keep things in theme, but we can always suggest things. And then for allergens not being labeled, they're actually working on printing more labels to put on foods. The other day they had like these juices that weren't labeled, they put labels on those. And then the no ice and no soda syrup in the soda machines that they're gonna be checking every 30 minutes instead of every hour to make sure that it's refilled more frequently. And those are the updates.
Point of information from President Zach.
In terms of, food labeling, they argue to me all the time that, oh, if you look on the TVs, they have the TVs are more updated than the actual labels are. Like, if you look at the TV and they're like, scrolls through depending on how much is there, but it's way more accurate than what's on the labels, which is, it shouldn't be that way, but if you really do wanna know if it's not there, look at the TV, it's a way more accurate representation of what's actually being served,
Senator Loach.
I have noticed multiple times that it's been brought up to me that the TVs are also not accurate. So while they are a good tool some of the time, they are not 100% accurate, and that's unacceptable considering we have people who have deadly allergies. And they might not be a top 9 allergen.
Senator Spivak, President for the first Spivak.
I remember last year there was some app where you could see like what was on the menu and like the nutrition stuff. I haven't heard anything about that. Is it still like working? Hey, we're no.
The Dynamo Canvas app is still functionable and it's still regularly updated for all Windows that users. Yeah, you can get it on the App Store with Apple and Android.
Senator Dempsey.
If I just make a suggestion along this front, I feel like everything gets too overcomplicated with the need to add the technology to it. I feel like if you just took the food that is made currently and put it on a piece of paper at the entrance with the process and ingredients, it would actually be significantly more useful than like scrolling through the list of ingredients and hoping that it's accurate versus, oh, it's fried in this specific type of oil, I can't eat that, I guess, then. There's good recipes that are used and we just have them.
I'm gonna go Senator Otto, then Gro Martinez, then Guzman, then Ferragamo.
I was just gonna say, like, as a freshman, I've learned so much about the dining hall in the last whatever hour. This information needs to be like somewhere, like it needs to all exist in a space that's like easily accessible because people have been complaining to me about all sorts of things. And like, not, sounds like 80% of them, like, they have solutions, just nobody knows the solutions exist. So there needs to be like
It's more of a
an
communication.
Instagram or, yeah, community, because it sounds like there are a lot of solutions already.
Senator Guerrero Martinez?
When would the new breakfast schedule be posted by chance?
I will ask John, please, and Joe publish on Friday.
Okay, thank you.
Senator Guzman?
I will put an inquiry regarding I guess the calendar events. So I heard from a couple of constituents last year regarding Hispanic Heritage Month that there wasn't enough representation amongst like different cultures and different foods. Is that going to be a point of interest regarding the conversation, or has that already been discussed?
Bring that up.
Then, Senator Gal?
Can all of this information be put on their website? That is newly done.
Like the solutions to the complaints.
Yeah, like, for instance, like, you know, we said like a calendar, can like a calendar be posted of what's being served on there? And all like that they offer and making sure that things are labeled where they're supposed to go. Just for easy access.
We're gonna go point of information for President Wright, and then we'll go Centennial and then.
I mean, pretty much in terms of the daily menu or the monthly menu, like. The dining hall, they plan out in advance, so they already know what they're most likely serving for the whole month of October to each day. So if you go on the Dining Campus website or even the app, you can see what's being served all day tomorrow already. And also in terms of just the monthly calendar of events that the Commons Dining Hall does, they post it on their Instagram every month. It's, the September calendar is already out, and if you go, as soon as you walk into the Commons, they have like this little. Like, what do you call it, like ad thingy, and it already has the September calendar there. So you can check yourself and see what will be happening, what theme day will be happening throughout. From September 15th to October 15th, for our signature every month, things of that nature. And Evan Mulligan is the marketing director, so you can just ask him anytime, he's always there. And all of the staff there, if you have any questions, just ask, don't be afraid to ask, they're pretty receptive to everything. It may not happen right away, it may not happen in the way that you want it to happen, but you can at least say, I spoke to this person and they said this, so that they can be followed up on track, so.
Senator Farragut, did you get your hand up?
No, I'm good.
You're good?
Thank you.
Anybody else? Senator Steph?
I think also even, for them to at least like. Better highlight what they've done, cause I have heard from constituent that when, like the transition from Aramark to gourmet dining. Like, for example, there were a lot of fridges that were broken that they replaced, the amount of mold that were in the soda machines that they, also like cleaned out and replaced, and I feel like just saying those things can help, like students be more aware of the things that they don't see.
Yeah, I do want to second that, I think it's, there needs to be a streamlined infrastructure with the transparency between the student body and gourmet dining. And I think the fact that we have the meeting with the committee session on Thursday and then immediately after Friday and it's consistent is gonna really help with that. Senator Hill?
So this is regarding the vegetarian and vegan options. I feel like there actually does need to be more variety because it also brings back the variety issue. And sometimes the quality is not great. Sometimes, you know, the lettuce it looks brown. People don't want that and that's all they can eat. And sometimes even like they will put out like carrots and it's like, yes, they don't have to be cooked, but if you're gonna cook them all the way. Nobody wants to eat like very hard and crunchy like vegetables, like even if you're a vegetarian or not, it's just a quality issue at that point.
Senator Centeno?
So first I want to second Senator Guzman's point to have a more variety of cultures be represented during Hispanic Heritage Month, and all the other months that they're gonna be celebrating. However, I know if it's already scheduled, they already ordered this stuff, we can't really do anything to stop that, but I would love that's just be a topic of conversation brought up to their marketing assistant. And secondly, I wanted to discuss with you, and potentially I can come to the meeting with you on Friday, about potentially giving discounts or like smaller packages of the dining plan for people who have celiac disease, because after finding out that they can eat at 0 of the locations at the EC, and have only the life station at Commons, I think it's honestly ridiculous. They should be paying $4,000 a semester. And I think you could say similar things for vegan and vegetarian students. I am vegetarian and I rarely eat at Commons because there are no nutritious options for me. besides plain vegetables. But I do know that they're probably not gonna be as willing on that point, but especially students with celiac disease, I think it's essential for them to have some type of accommodation because they're paying outrageous amounts for food that they're just not consuming, because they can't.
Senator Steph.
I do second what you're saying, and I also, would, like, if they ask if you can, speak, if, or if they can speak with, accessibility resources for that, cause I have, two people that I know of, that have, like stomach issues, and they were able to get, not that they need to get out of the plan entirely. I also know that accessibility resources can be sometimes of an issue, like trying to get, with what you need, but they were able to get out of the plan, not that they have to get out of the plan, but at least for your idea of, having the reduced.
Yeah, I would definitely reach out to Dana Jerome for that. Also, I'm sorry to clarify, Joe Kavanaugh is his name, if you were wondering.
Senator Duke.
Just to like add on to what people said, the kind of like if we could not start or just get an idea of looking into like other alternatives or bringing up alternatives to the EC for vegetarian. Because I have heard previously, not just this semester, but prior semesters from like my vegetarian friends that they find themselves finding difficult choices at Commons and EC even with Halal Shack, so maybe trying to find an alternative or another option to incorporate along with like Halal Shack and Yellows and other things. Just start that conversation.
Point of information, President Wright.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Senator Guzman, but on the end, we have to realize from the transition from Aramark to Gourmet, Aramark, all of the restaurants in the DC were essentially like mom and pop style, and it was put out directly by Aramark. Today with Gourmet, we have franchises inside of the DC. So they're also being compliant with what those brands are producing. So if those brands themselves don't have vegetarian options on their menu, that's where the bigger problem is. Because you can't say this is Yella's and it's not something that Yella's and author sells. You can't say something's Halal Shack if Halal Shack doesn't sell that said item. So I completely do concur with you, but it's definitely harder in the aspect of trying to enhance variety without like having to go to that company and be like, hey, we need this, but it definitely can be worked out because this is their relationship that they have with college campuses. Because if you do look at Yella's menu on their official storefronts, there's differences in what's being served here. So it definitely can be worked out. It's just that conversation seriously needs to be had.
Is there a way to request for there to be a vegetarian vendor?
I mean, I don't see why not, like, it's just, and that's just a conversation that needs to be had, and then things of contracting, like, that wouldn't be able to happen right away. Maybe if that was to be proposed, by the time we get back for spring semester, there can be a vegetarian option inside of the EC, or it might have to be, that may have to wait upon the next academic year, just due to contracting and legal agreements, et cetera.
Constituent Jack, after Dr. Day last thing, all right.
Just on that point of a vegetarian vendor, perhaps we could just get rid of the grocery market. I don't think I've ever seen anyone order food from there at one time. And I don't even know when they're open. Whenever I look at the app, they're closed either way. So like maybe replace it with a vegetarian option instead.
I believe they are primarily open in earlier hours. They close before the rest of them close. And I know that like the list of options that they have, I know they have like yogurt and like fruit bowls and different things, but I agree that I haven't seen many people order. Senator Dempsey.
York Street Market is literally just the sandwiches that Starbucks sells.
Right.
They are out of the Starbucks. You buy Starbucks. Yeah. Also a thing. So I guess also the short-term solution, given the lack of vegetarian option is the celiac disease concern. Can they just fry falafel in a different oil so that it's not poison the celiac people? And even then, it's not a broad fix, but it is a immediate one that doesn't take an entire semester to change.
To have like when I worked at McDonald's, there was a specific one for fish that you would fry and everything differently so that it wouldn't be contaminated by the other food. We'll do Senator Stephen and Senator Hill, and then we'll try and keep going because it is 9:28. We got a couple more things to get through.
This is more of a point of, inquiry for Claire Rodriguez about the, I understand that like all of this is a lot of like information for dining concerns and for the meeting on Friday. How are your like notes that you're taking down organized by?
Okay, so what I do is during the meetings, see the bubbles here, these are new concerns and things I need to bring up. And then how I do that is that later on, I'll organize it into my Google Doc, and then I'll put the concerns up here. And then this is the solutions that they presented.
Senator Hill?
Okay, so I guess this is kind of like, well, it's more on topic. I was gonna say something about, I guess, the fruit. Because I've heard like a lot of people, and even like myself, we complain about like the fruit salad because it's just soggy and just a mess. And I feel like it's unreasonable to have people constantly have to go to the allergy station just to get like the fruit that they want. Because I remember in the fall semester, they had it where you can pick the fruit that you want. So I guess, just wanna know why they switched that and if we can find a way to fix it back, cause I think it was better the way it was before.
I concur. Since we are pressed for time, we'll be moving on to the Bob report, so CFO Moche.
Nothing report, we'll have our first meeting this week.
That's the report, thank you very much. Attorney General Polanco?
Nothing to report, but just look out for what Spivak will say.
Chief of Staff report, Junior.
Nope.
Thank you very much. CCO report. Thank you very much. And President Pro Tempore Spivak.
Just want to say welcome to all senators. Looking forward to working with you all. And now that all the spots are filled, it's that time of the semester. I'm gonna be putting you all in those committees, liaisons, like we've discussed. So I think I sent an email for 9:30 PM, so around now it should be, but basically in that email, what you're gonna get is like the spreadsheet that says what each one does and like who you specifically like what times they meet, and then also it's, I believe, 2 forms, which are committee placement, liaison placement, so that's just like which committee liaison you wanna fill out, and then also there's a senator special project form, we're still doing that, right? So if you can by like next meeting, fill it out, cause if you don't fill it out, I'm probably gonna put you in like a committee that's nobody filled out for, so. And it's also first come, first served, so, yeah, and then also for all new senators, there's a little question there asking for availability. Please fill that out so that we can have the debrief meeting, Attorney General Blanco and I tell you about like your responsibilities and everything. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll go to the announcements and upcoming events. Do we have a question? Senator Hill?
Well, mine is the easy fix, and this is just me being a little annoying. I'm looking at the Senate and transfer senator is not there. I'm looking at the workflow thing and it's, I'm not.
Oh, for the board, where? The workflow?
The work phones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna go to that. Thank you very much. Senator Santana?
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know that whatever meeting times that are there for social responsibility committee are not accurate for this semester. So if you're interested in joining, the meeting times are yet to be determined. That is all. Thank you.
I believe the student government workflow does, the infrastructure is all great that we have it there. I think it does need tweaking, be updated. So if there's concern, please voice it and we'll update it. Because I don't think everything is 1,000% accurate on there, but we'll make sure to fix that.
Yeah, just to add to that, yeah, the workflow is always a working document because things are always ever changing. So, yeah, today you all confirmed the new chair, so now all that information will be updated by the end of the week. So then, yeah, the workflow is a document that you need to consistently check because it's always changing. So.
Okay, so right into announcements and upcoming events. We have the TMT reveals auditions on tomorrow at 5 PM in the Great Hall. The Community Partner Fair, tomorrow at 5 PM in the EC, the Space, and the 1867 Lounge. The Acorn Inductory Meeting, tomorrow at 7 PM at McClendon Acorn Office. Study Abroad 101 Global Partner Program, Long Trek on the 16th, which day is that? So 6 days, that's Tuesday? All right. Tuesday at noon in the EC 109. First gen meetups on that Tuesday at 4 PM in the EC and the Space. Cafe con Leche is that Tuesday, the 16th, 6 PM in the EC Crawford Hall. General meeting for the fund is on the 16th, Tuesday at 7:30 in Hall of Sciences 04. Slime Party on 9/17, a week from today, that's Wednesday, at 3:30 in the Crawford Hall. FAAD weekly meeting on 9/17/2025, 5 p.m. in the Easton 1867 Lounge. Nourish and Nurture Night on, and I exited out. Nourish and Nurture Night on Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. in EC 109. General meeting for empowerment in STEM on that Thursday, 6 p.m. in EC. Whole You, A Path to Balance on 9/23. That will be then Tuesday following the next. At 11 a.m. in the EC. FAAD weekly meeting on the 24th, 2 Wednesdays from now, and at 5 p.m. Drew Alumni Career Conversations with Business and MCOM on the 24th, 2 Thursdays from now, 7 p.m. in the EC. Nourish and Nurture, 9/24, 2 Thursdays from now. All right, before we'd like to adjourn, Senator Fergal.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
All right, before we do that, I just want to take a quick point. So in the past with the Senate, I would like to voice this because this has always been something. Please check your emails, you guys, especially the new ones. We're gonna make sure that we are communicative and we always make sure that we try and get an outreach to everybody. We only have these meetings twice a month, so it's good that we communicate all throughout that time. We will have the chat. There's the Gmail regular, just where your inbox is, but there's also like a little chat that goes with Gmail. We post a lot of stuff there. You guys are already added to that chat, you should be. But I'll also be talking in there, so I can get rid of these numbers. We're gonna be transitioning to WhatsApp or GroupMe. I haven't exactly figured that out exactly yet. I think WhatsApp is gonna be what we're gonna be doing. But we'll be operating on a little bit of both. Documents, it's easy to share a lot of, writing resolutions and everything else is probably easier to share in the Gmail on that chat. But if we want to work together and kind of streamline communication, if it comes to dining concerns in the meeting, to just make sure you can reach out. We want to make sure you can just text somebody, work with another committee member, work with another senator, work with one of us, and then you can be able to streamline that process and work together. So, point of information.
Just to add to that, the reason why student government meets every other week is so that on the odd weeks, that's when you're supposed to be engaging with your constituencies, going to events, hearing what people have to say, and going to committee meetings and doing your senator duties outside of our meetings bi-weekly. So that by the time you come to the next meeting, you have things to present, you have resolutions to present, so they can be passed, so that you can get funding for your special senator projects, et cetera. So that's pretty much how the landscape of student government works. So when you're not in student government on Wednesday nights, you should be working so that you're in preparation for Wednesday nights, so that you have something to present. You're not just here to vote and just exist. It's so that you're actively always working and doing something in order to serve your constituency the way that you see fit, the way that the standard of the Constitution follows expect.
This is not a change that we just want to see happen. We want to be this change. It's coming upon us. It's our responsibility as the people in this room and make sure that happens. So, good luck to everybody. You had a great first meeting. Senator Ferragalli, you motion to adjourn the meeting. Do we have a second? Second? There we go. Meeting adjourned.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we all vote. Yeah, right. Yeah, I need it. No, I need it. No, after.
I did just ask this.
The hot seat.
Game, I'm sorry.
Yeah, really soon, actually. Really soon.
I'll see you.